Permission, the exhibit 10 is received, permission to publish is granted. Mr. Brooks, your objection is noted. It's overruled. I'll answer this. I believe the evidence is relevant to the charges in this case.
Detective Casey, before we begin playing the video, what do you see? Could you please describe for the jury and orient them to what they're seeing at this point?
So this would be the Catholic Communities of Waukesha. They would be marching westbound on Main Street, which is at the early beginning of the parade. And the cross street there would be East Avenue, and the church behind them should be St. Matthias Church.
Okay. And did they have a banner in front of their group as they marched down the road?
Yes, they do.
Okay. To your knowledge, sir, you've seen many videos from this parade, correct?
Correct.
And you saw some of these units, at least as they entered the route, correct?
Correct.
Did the Catholic Community of Waukesha, did the participants for that group wear any specific clothing or uniforms, to your knowledge?
No, they do not.
The objection is noted. It's overruled. Then the answer may stand.
And to your knowledge, did they walk in any sort of formation?
It was just a random formation. Sometimes they changed a little bit as they were walking.
Okay. Please play. And now at about the 24-second mark, what's the next unit coming into the screen?
The Dancing Grannies.
Okay. And they had a banner?
Correct.
Okay.
And the woman on the left-hand side of the screen is Virginia Sorensen.
On the left-hand side of the screen or the left-hand side of the street?
Objection. That was not the question asked, who the person was.
I'll sustain the objection. The answer was non-responsive. I'll strike it. Next question. Juries shall disregard the last answer provided by Detective Casey.
All right. Actually, we're just going to play this and we won't identify any people at this point.
Okay.
To your knowledge, sir, did the Dancing Grannies have a uniform?
Yes, they did.
Do you remember generally what it looked like?
It was a blue dress. They had hats. They had some lights around them.
Okay.
White tennis shoes.
Okay. And did they march in a formation, to your knowledge?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Please play.
All right, for viewers watching, the jury is watching a video, and it is of the Dancing Grannies during the parade, but given some of the content, we cannot show it to our viewers, but that is why it's
What's
quiet
that vehicle,
in the courtroom.
sir?
It's a support vehicle for the Dancing Grannies.
All right. Did you happen to see that? No, strike that. All right. So that they had a banner in front and then a white, looked like SUV type vehicle at the rear of their group?
Yes.
Okay. That was the 146 mark. I paused, and we will continue to play. if you could please pause at the 2:05 mark. Which unit is this, please?
This would be Citizens Bank.
And did these participants have a uniform or something that would be recognizable?
Not really uniform, but a couple of ladies got together and wore the same pants and jackets over the top, and then some Santa hats.
Okay. And they had this float associated with their unit?
Yes.
Okay. Did they march in a formation, to your knowledge?
No, just sort of random. They were handing out candy, walking around, and no specific place.
Okay. Play. Pause. What's the next unit?
This would be Extreme Dance.
And do you know about how many people are involved with this unit?
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
I would estimate about 35 girls, younger age, varying.
Okay. And again, they started with a banner in the front.
Yes.
Did they have a support vehicle involved as well?
Yes, pickup truck that there were 2 people in the back of the bed, which were resupplying the candy for the people that were marching.
Okay. Did these girls have a certain uniform?
Yes, they did.
What do you remember about their uniform?
Black tights, black sweater, white tennis shoes, and they all had a headband on
Okay.
that lit up.
To your knowledge, did they march in formation?
The girls in the front, there was 4 different groups of girls based on sort of their age and their ability. The girls in the front had more of a formation than some of the tiny tots that were in the back.
Okay. Play. All right, that's the end of that clip. I'd like to show you another clip that's been marked as State's Exhibit number 11 so that we can continue with the parade units, please. We'll preview it for you, sir.
Objection, what is the relevancy?
Your objection is noted. It is overruled. And you may question the witness regarding the exhibit.
Thank you.
I would note for Mr. Brooks that in addition to being relevant to the charges, it also goes to background and context.
What do you mean by background?
Background to the event. Events that led up to
Like
all
detail,
of the charges, the reason for why we're here.
detail background?
It's regarding the parade, sir.
I don't understand, but okay. Don't understand.
Your statement's noted for the record.
And again, those videos just showed a lot of the people at the parade. Certainly we can't show you all the children and people in their faces, so that's why you didn't get to see that. But we are going to need to squeeze in a break. When we come back, we'll go back into that courtroom for more testimony by this detective.
911. We got active shooter.
I was shot in the face. People everywhere, bodies everywhere, chaos everywhere.
This is just a kid. How did he get here?
Were there moments where you second-guessed yourself?
No. There's no one way to say this person is or this person isn't going to become a mass shooter.
Court TV presents Rampage Killers. Tonight, 7, 6 Central, only on Court Healthcare.
All right, let's return to the deadly parade crash trial, Wisconsin versus Daryl Brooks. And I know that we've been showing you the detective's testimony in the courtroom. I understand that they may be working on, I don't know what they're doing. I can see on the screen they're talking to each other. Let's bring in our guests, but certainly when the testimony resumes, we're going to take you back into that courtroom. Still with us, attorneys Joseph Tully, Dina Sayegdal. All right, Dina, what do you think of the testimony so far with this witness?
Well, I think probably the most compelling is the video, which we're not seeing. I mean, this was really a horrific act of violence. You know, I mean, he's saying that it was not him, but seeing the video, seeing the people, seeing how this, transpired is going to be very difficult for the jury to overcome. And it's going to be the most impactful is any video that they show in terms of testimony.
All right, so we are going to take you back to that courtroom for the continuing testimony now, I believe, is resumed of Detective Tom Casey. And certainly we'll show you any of the videos that we can.
Directly in the camera view when it was sideways. It looks like a totally different video.
Sir, it's not been admitted yet. The state's laying a foundation for that. And I'm gonna let them continue questioning.
So, Detective Casey, you have seen State's Exhibit number 11 before, correct?
Yes, I have.
And you believe it's a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Objection.
Yep.
Hearsay.
Your objection is noted, it's overruled.
Yes, I do.
All right, move for admission of number 11 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, any position on the admission of Exhibit
Yes,
11?
I definitely object. This is not the same video that was just attempted to be shown. This is a totally different video.
Mr. Brooks, your objection is noted. There wasn't much testimony about whatever that prior exhibit was, and I'm going off of his testimony about seeing this particular video clip. There's the still image in front of him that he identified he previously reviewed, and it's accurate, true and accurate. So based on that, your objection's noted, but it is overruled. I'll receive Exhibit 11. Permission to publish is granted.
You struck the last video then that didn't.
The last video wasn't admitted, sir. There were technical issues, they moved on. We will continue, go ahead.
Okay, so again, please orient us, Detective Casey.
So we are now a little bit further west on Main Street. This is about maybe 2 blocks west of the last location, and the cross street it would be at is Northwest Barstow Street.
Okay. And what unit is shown on the screen at the moment?
This would be the Waukesha Blazer support vehicle, and then the baseball players come shortly behind it.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did this group walk in any certain formation?
No, they didn't. They walked around. They were also handing out candy, just sort of walking around, mingling with the crowd and themselves.
Okay. And were some of the players wearing their baseball jerseys?
Yes, they were.
And other individuals just had on like hats and coats and nothing discernible, correct?
Objection. Irrelevant. Everybody had on coats and hats.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled.
So most of the players had their jerseys on with their numbers on the back, but there was also some coaches that were marching with them, and they just had regular jackets and hats that were on when they were walking.
Okay. Please play. All right. At the 38-second mark, we've paused it, or 39 seconds, we've paused it. What's the next unit coming into view?
This would be Barris Logistics. You can see the pickup truck that's pulling a float that has the Grinch on the back.
Okay. Please play. And now at the 103 mark, we've paused it. What's the next unit coming into view?
This would be the Waukesha South High School Marching Band.
Go ahead. And if you could pause, what's that unit right there in the middle?
Well, there's the mascot first for the Waukesha South Band, and then directly behind that is the Remax Realty support vehicle.
Okay. Is it easy to distinguish the Remax vehicle?
Yes, they had a big hot air balloon basket on the back, and they had a flame that was blowing out the top. That was
Okay.
very noticeable.
Okay. Please play. And we're going to stop it there at about the 2:15 mark. So that's the Remax group going through, correct, sir?
That is correct.
Okay. Are those the 8 units that were most directly impacted by Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route, sir?
Yep.
I do not recognize that man represent to being called that.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled.
Yes, they were.
In addition to that, there were some spectators that were injured. Is that correct, sir?
Correct. There's, I would say, 3 different groups of people, spectators that were sitting on the side of the roadway that were also injured.
Okay. At some point, did you and other members of the Waukesha Police Department attempt to identify all the individuals who were injured as a result of Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route?
Objection, I do not consent to being called that name.
Overruled.
Yes, we did.
And about roughly how many people was that?
There are over 60 people that were injured that we identified.
Okay. Were you able, through your investigation detective, to determine where along the parade route each of these individuals were located at the time they were injured?
Yes, we were.
And were you able to map that information so that we can present it to this jury?
Yes.
I'd like to please put up number 15 in preview mode. Go ahead. Detective, do you see State's Exhibit number 15 on the screen?
Not yet.
Okay, sorry. Is it up?
No.
Okay, shortly.
Okay, please tell me when it is.
It is up now.
All right. Can you please identify State's Exhibit 15?
This is a map that I put together that identifies the officers that were on the scene. certain locations of interest that people mentioned when they were interviewed. Also identifies the victims and the deceased that died during the parade event.
Is this an accurate summary of your investigation, sir?
Yes, it is.
Move to admit number 15 and permission to publish.
Mr. Brooks, any position? Your objections noted. The exhibit is received subject to all of the other events laying the foundation for this are ultimately presented to this jury, but you may publish as well.
Thank you.
We are nearing the top of the hour. I want to thank Joseph Tully, Dina Sayegdal for joining us today. Michael Ayala on set with me. Tell us what you think of how this defendant's behaving today, Michael.
I think he's all over the place. At one point, I thought he was faking, but today, I don't know. But I think he's doing a decent job, and we're going to continue, of course, with our live coverage of this case. So keep it right here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
0710.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, ma'am.
Did you come into contact with Daryl Brooks on the afternoon of November 21st, 2021?
Yes. We went up that hill, we drove around, me and him got into an altercation. He hit me in my eye, I jumped out of the car. He just followed me all the way to the park.
How would you describe his demeanor?
He was angry. He was just mad. He just left very angry. He just drove off fast.
Do you remember what that argument was about?
He was arguing with me about money because I did not bail him out.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Michael Ayala. A lot happened today in the unpredictable Wisconsin trial for defendant Daryl Brooks. He's accused of driving his car into a Christmas parade last year, killing 6 people and injuring more than 60 others. Now, Brooks is representing himself, and while the first couple of days of the trial, Brooks' constant disruptions got him banished to an adjacent courtroom. The past day and a half have really seen the feisty defendant calm down a bit. Today, he was actually allowed back into the courtroom, but as lunchtime approached, things started to go off the rails again, even as he earned the praise of the judge for his demeanor throughout the morning. Now, court is still going at this hour. On the stand right now is Detective Tom Casey with the Waukesha Police Department. So I want to get you right back into that courtroom for more live testimony.
They were right in front of Mama Ducky's Bakery, or Chef Pam.
Okay.
It's right before the 5 Points in Waukesha, which is an area where Broadway and Main Street cross.
Okay. Can you zoom back into the 5 Point area, please? Okay. And were there any spectators injured in that exact area?
Yes, there were.
And who was that, please?
Isaac Foglia and Deborah Ramirez.
Okay. And then getting through the 5 Points, what was the next group impacted?
It would be Citizens Bank.
Okay. And that was Jane Kulik?
Correct.
And she was fatally injured?
Yes.
Okay. The next group? Or I guess the next group is actually spectators.
Correct. There was 3 children that were sitting on the north side of the roadway on the corner of Clinton Street and West Main, and they were struck by the vehicle when it came through.
What business is located right there?
The Steaming Cup is on the northwest corner of that intersection, so they're very close to that.
Okay. The next unit that was impacted?
That would be the Dancing Grannies.
And that was just past Clinton Street, sir?
Correct, just west of Clinton on West Main Street.
Okay. And you've listed the names of the persons that were injured by the defendant's vehicle associated with the Dancing Grannies, correct?
The injured and the deceased.
Okay. And again, you've designated the deceased with red, color red?
Yes.
And the others were just injured?
Correct.
Okay. And that was near a couple businesses that you noted on the map, sir?
That took up a very large part of the roadway. It was very spread out, but Donnie Boy's Tap, Curry Insurance, those are the 2 most common businesses in that area.
Okay. Then if we could move on to the last group. Sorry. What was the last group to be impacted by the defendant's vehicle?
The Catholic Communities of Waukesha.
And have you listed there the names of all the individuals who were injured by the defendant's vehicle related to the Catholic Communities of Waukesha?
Yes, I have.
Overruled.
I don't identify or consent to being called the defendant.
Your objection's noted.
And is there a business or entity nearby that in the area where the Catholic community was struck?
The closest place would be Planned Parenthood.
Okay. All right, thank you. We can take down Exhibit 15, and next I'm going to ask you to please pull up number 12. While she's doing that, Detective, I'll ask you a pretty basic question. All of the locations that you've described for us so far, are they all located in the city of Waukesha?
Yes, they are.
County of Waukesha?
Yes, ma'am.
State of Wisconsin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, are you aware as to some drone footage being captured of the parade route the next day after the parade?
Yes, I am.
Who captured that footage?
Specialist Andy Schmidt.
Works for your department, sir?
Yes, he does in the evidence department.
Okay. And was the drone able to travel the length of the parade route?
This captures from the area where the people started being injured. We didn't capture the entire route.
Okay. And to your knowledge, sir, you've seen this video before, correct?
Yes, I have.
Is it a true and accurate depiction of the way Main Street looked on the morning of November 22, 2021 at about 9:56 a.m.?
Yes, it is.
By now, all of the injured have been removed from the scene, obviously.
Injured and deceased.
Okay, but there's still objects in the roadway?
Correct.
And investigators and other people can be seen in the drone footage?
Yes.
Okay. Move to admit number 12 and permission to publish, please.
Any position by you, Mr. Brooks?
Objection.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 12 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Okay, so again, we're going to start playing this, and I will ask Ms. Gussie to pause at various occasions so you can describe what we're seeing, but if you can just give us a general idea where we are right now, please.
So right now the drone would be sitting on pretty low to the ground on West Main Street, just west of Northwest Barstow.
And which direction is it facing?
It would be facing west,
Okay.
the direction of the parade took.
Okay. And can you see or identify the business on the right-hand side?
That would be Smart Asset Realty.
Okay. And can you tell us, I don't know if you could tell, what's on the left-hand side? Can you identify anything?
Just a little bit further up is Subway sandwich shop, and I know that Divino Gelato is right next door to that.
Okay, that's kind of right about the roof of that vehicle that's parked there on the left, right? It's the Subway sign?
Correct.
Okay. All right, please play. And can you pause it here, please, at the 23-second mark? Was anybody struck in this area, sir?
Yes, this would be the area that Nicole White was struck.
With the Remax balloon?
Correct.
Okay. And now we got a better shot of the Subway there on the left?
Correct.
Okay, and on the right past Asset Realty, there seems to be a tall building with some mirrored windows on the right. Do you see that?
Correct, that should be 220 West Main Street.
And what's located there, sir?
It's an apartment building, 5 levels. And we captured some video that was recorded on the top floor of that building.
Okay. All right, play. And we'll pause it at the 35-second mark. Was anybody struck in this area, sir?
This would be the area of the Waukesha South Band.
Okay. Play. And we'll pause it there. At the 59-second mark, what do we see here, sir? The businesses, identify, please.
Oh, there's a chocolate shop on the left, and then the Vino and Gelato is just on your left, and the front building on your left with the black roof is Martha Merrill's bookstore.
Okay. Was anybody struck in this area?
This would be the area that Barris Logistics was at.
Okay. Play. Gussie, you could just keep it playing. I'm going to talk, but you could keep it playing. It's at the 117 mark. What's that cross street here?
This would be Gasper Street.
Okay.
And that area there is where there were some spectators that were hit.
Okay. Thank you. Now we've just crossed Gasper?
Correct.
Okay. And keep it playing, please, at the 157 mark. What businesses are we seeing here?
The joke shop is on your left, and the Waukesha Theater's on your right. That's the area that the Waukesha Blazers were in when they were hit.
Okay. And now we're approaching the 5 Points area, sir?
Correct.
All right. Was any group injured in this area?
This is where the Extreme Dance Club was when they were impacted.
Okay.
For the record, that was at 234.
Thank you, ma'am. At the 240 mark here, what's this business on the right?
Objection. Just for the record, who are the people off to the right?
You can question the witness during cross-examination, okay?
On the right, there's Mama Ducky's and Chef Pam's kitchen.
Okay. And this is where we get that weird cross streets. That's why it's called 5 Points, right?
Correct.
And that's why everybody gets lost in downtown Waukesha, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so the court looking at the deadly path taken by the red SUV, allegedly driven by Darrell Brooks, and that's drone footage they're looking at. We're going to take a quick break right now. Stay with us. We're going to have more of the testimony of Detective Tom Casey when we come back. Keep it right here on Court TV.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, the Murdaugh murder mystery has another twist. New York Post reporter Dana Kennedy joins the show as we dive deeper.
Closing Arguments with Vinnie Politan. Tonight at 8/7 Central. Only on Court TV.
How often do you hear of a mom being shot by a killer dressed as a clown?
She killed my daughter and he marries her.
Unbelievable.
A Clown at the Door. Sunday night, 9/8 Central. Only on Court TV.
Hello, welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Michael Ayala. We continue now with our coverage of Wisconsin versus Darrell Brooks. Brooks is, of course, charged with driving his SUV down Main Street in Waukesha, Wisconsin, around Christmas, during a Christmas parade back in November of last year. We're going to pick it up live where Detective Tom Casey of the Waukesha PD is watching some drone footage of that route down Main Street that allegedly was taken by Darrell Brooks in his red SUV. Let's get back into the court.
For giving medical aid and a lot of blood on the ground.
Do you know who was found at this location, sir?
Yes, I do.
Who was that?
Tamara Durand.
She's a deceased victim from the Grannies?
Yes, she is.
Okay. How about on the left-hand side of the video, there's a building that I can read says Karate Studios. Do you see that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Was another victim of the Dancing Grannies found in that location?
Yes, there was.
And who was found in that position, sir?
Leanna Owens.
Okay. Please keep playing the video. That's Curry Insurance on the left. I can see the sign.
Correct.
Okay. And coming up will be the third position for one of the Dancing Grannies who suffered fatal injuries as a result of this incident, sir?
Yes.
Right there?
Correct.
Who was found in that location?
Virginia Sorensen.
Okay. Continue playing. What's the side street we're passing here?
Maple Avenue.
Okay. And what are we approaching here in this area, sir?
We're going up to the area where Catholic Charities were impacted, and on the right, there's a building with, it's a one-story building with a black roof that goes around. That would be Planned Parenthood of Waukesha, or Wisconsin.
And now we're getting towards the end of Main Street here where it turns to Wisconsin Avenue?
That is correct.
Okay. There's a natural bend in the road to the left, right?
That is correct.
Dog leg left. Now we are past the point where anybody is further struck by the vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
No, nobody was injured in this location.
No, they were not.
But we're approaching, if the video will go, we're approaching Veterans Park.
Correct. Veterans Park is directly in front. If you were not turn on the roadway, you would run into Veterans Park.
Right where that big tree is in the middle of the street.
Yes.
All right, and I'm impatient, so I'm gonna have you describe for us as we turn the bend, what's the significance of this area, sir?
So in this area, when the vehicle that was hitting and killing all these people came up to the bend in the road, it turned to the left, and Officer Schulten was standing there, and he made the decision to use deadly force to attempt to stop the vehicle.
Okay, and that's this intersection here that we're seeing where the two squad cars are parked?
Yes, it is.
This is the area where Officer Schulten was standing when he fired at the defendant's vehicle?
Yes, it is.
All right, we can go ahead and stop it at the 8:01 mark, please. Thank you. Oh, wait, before you turn it off, it's kind of hard to see, and nobody probably will be able to read it, but maybe you if you look real close. In the upper left-hand corner, there's a date and time stamp on the drone video. Do you see that, sir?
Yes, I do.
Could you please read that?
It says 2021-11-22, and then it says 10:06, and I can't read the smaller numbers. So to me, that would mean it was November 22nd, 2021 at 10:06.
That's the time this recording was made, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, but will we be turning to a new topic?
Yeah, actually, I don't have too much more with Detective Casey. I could probably finish my direct in about the next 10 or 15 minutes, Your Honor.
I'll let you finish the direct and we'll reserve cross for Monday morning.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Sir, I want to show you another item that's been marked as exhibit. Exhibit 141. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
All right, we're going to step aside, take a quick break. We'll get you right back into the courtroom on the other side of that break, so keep it right here on Court TV.
prettylitter.com.
It was a holiday parade that quickly turned tragic.
Evil has arrived and it's shown what it can do.
Daryl Brooks is accused of killing 6 people when he drove his vehicle through a crowd of spectators.
In a surprising move, Brooks waived his right to an attorney and instead will be representing himself.
Our cameras will be inside the courtroom as a community searches for justice.
The Deadly Parade Crash Trial. Live coverage weekday mornings, 9/8 Central. Only on Court TV.
Welcome back now. We've been following the second day of testimony in the Deadly Parade crash trial. And the big story today would have to be how well behaved the defendant, Daryl Brooks, has been in front of the jury. He appears to have done some preparation and seems to have some idea of what he wants to do on cross-examination, even if he lacks the skills to really pull it off. Daryl Brooks is accused of intentional murder after driving an SUV through the annual Waukesha Christmas parade last November, striking dozens of spectators and participants. 6 people died from injuries sustained during that incident. Now, thus far, the jury has heard from his ex-girlfriend and a number of witnesses to the events that day and police officers as well. Quickly, I'd like to welcome in my guest for this hour. Criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Borghardt is here for our Fridays with Franz, of course. He's an appellate and a trial attorney as well. Criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, excuse me. Franz, first off, I want to say this particular evidence presented by Detective Tom Casey, I think has been very effective. It's been demonstrative. They've used video, they used maps, then they used drone footage, they've used testimony to really hone in on the events of that day. You could see the people, then you saw the route, then you saw, he talked about all the people that were hurt. I thought it's being done really well.
It's a very slow and methodical reenactment of what happened that's done tastefully. It incorporates wonderful drone technology. It puts the jurors in the seat of this is what it was like from the vantage point of his vehicle, and this is how he went, and these are the people he either injured or killed. I think it's masterful prosecution, direct examination, and candidly, I think the objections he's making, while sometimes distracting, it just emphasizes, at least in my mind, it emphasizes how patient all the other parties are being with him, the judge, the prosecutor, and I think this is going to be very effective for the jury. Michael.
Yeah, I agree. There's no way you can look at it any other way. Quickly, you touched on it a little bit, but how do you feel he's doing? I mean, he's taken a whole different countenance today. He had some moments, but ultimately, I think overall, he even got some praise from the judge for how he's conducting himself. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think what we're seeing is someone who will not have a competency argument because he clearly seems to be engaged, understanding what's going on. His behavior is markedly better than it's been in the past. So I think he's realizing what's going on. Maybe he's trying to represent himself. The only problem with representing himself is he loses the claim of ineffective assistance. So anything he's missing, he can only blame himself for. But I'll say, Michael, his behavior today, his engagement in the court, his objections for the most part, while, it's pro se in nature, it seems as if he's taking this seriously, and he seems not to be putting on a performance, at least with the last 30 minutes to an hour I've been watching.
Exactly, and I think he clearly knows the difference from when the jury is in and when the judge is there, just the judge, because he seems to act up when the jury's out, but he seems to be well under control when that jury's in. All right, Franz, stand by. I do want to take folks back into the courtroom, still on the stand, Detective Tom Casey. When we pick it up here, he's talking about encountering that red SUV on that route, so let's go back into the court.
Shirts on.
You've seen this video clip before, sir?
Yes, I have.
Do you believe it's a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Absolutely.
And this clip is about 28 seconds long, is that right?
Yes.
Move to admit and permission to publish number 8.
Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
What is the relevancy of
Is that an objection?
it? Yes, Your Honor.
Your objection's noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 8 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Okay, please orientate us.
So this is the south right here. This would be looking to the north, and White Rock Avenue is in this area here. This here is Main Street.
Okay. Right near that arrow that you drew, near the top of the screen, it looks like there's a very bright light at the top of the screen. Do you see that?
The street lights?
No.
Or to the right?
Yep, right there. What's up in that area, sir?
That would be the squad cars that I had with me.
Okay. You have the red and blues on?
Correct, on both vehicles.
Okay, and that's what that light is in that area.
Yes.
Now, you scribbled all over this, but can you see yourself?
Not right now.
Not right now. Where do you remember standing?
So if the squad cars were by this circle right here,
Yep.
I would have been like right in this area to the left.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this, but I'm going to ask Miss Gussie to put it in full screen because I'm not going to be pausing it or stopping it. I want to make sure we capture the whole top and bottom of this one. Okay?
We'll clear the annotation since this is a video.
So I'm going to play it through once, and we're just going to watch it, and then I'll ask you what we saw, and we can go back if we need to. Play.
Do you want me to talk while it's going on or after?
No, because I can't see the counter, so. Okay, we're going to do that one again with the counter up so I can pause it and have you point out. It's really hard to see what the heck we're supposed to be looking at on this one, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So here we are. We're paused at, oh, you're going to start. Okay. That's okay.
So right by the flashing lights on the left-hand side, you'll suddenly see me come out with the orange vest on.
Pause, please. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Detective. Okay, we're pausing at the 8-second mark. Show us, circle where the jury's supposed to be looking right now. And what are we gonna see up there?
You should see me walk from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, slow speed at first and then speeding up towards the end.
You are, in other words, you picked up the pace.
Correct, and then shortly after you will see the red Ford Escape come down the street here and traverse westbound on Main Street.
Okay, now, is this video good enough to see you actually pounding on the hood?
Unfortunately, this black pickup truck is blocking where that happened at. If that pickup truck wasn't there, you would be able to see it.
Okay, and just to remind us, you're in a bright fluorescent yellow safety vest, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, play, please. Right there, is that you?
Yeah, that is me.
Okay, 12 seconds. Circle yourself, please. We're paused at 12 seconds. Okay. Okay, go ahead and play, please. There's the red SUV.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's it for Exhibit 8. I'm going to ask Ms. Gussie to pull up Exhibit 120. Tell me when it's on the screen, please, sir.
The photo is up.
Okay. Have you seen this photograph before, sir?
Yes, I have.
This is State's Exhibit 120. Do you believe this photograph is a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Yes, I do.
You've seen this photograph before, sir?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Just tell the jury what it's a picture of.
It's a picture of the Ford Escape that was involved in this incident and Daryl Brooks, the defendant, driving the vehicle.
Okay. Move to admit 120 and permission to publish.
Object.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 120 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
I don't consent to being called that name or defendant.
Your objection's noted.
Objection for hearsay as well.
Overruled.
Okay, detective, please help the jury see what we're supposed to see. Where is the red SUV? Dumb question.
So it looks like a person that's involved in the band. One of the band people are to your right in the center. And then right in the middle of the screen, you see a red vehicle. And then seated at the driver's seat is a gentleman with a white hoodie on.
And appears to be black facial hair, is that correct?
Correct.
Is that what Daryl Brooks looked like as he drove past you just a block or two earlier?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name. I do not know anyone by that name, nor do I agree to being called that name. And it's hearsay.
It's not hearsay. Your objection's overruled. You may answer, detective.
Yes, that's the defendant, Daryl Brooks, the person that drove past me and didn't stop when I tried to stop the vehicle.
Is that how he looked as he drove past you?
Yes, it is.
With the hood up?
To be honest with you, I don't remember the hood up when he went past me. It happened very fast. I could only see the outline of his face. I know some people later on say that they saw him with hair. When I saw the pictures with his hoodie up, it explained to me why I did not see his hair.
Okay. All right. Just let me consult here 1 second. I think I'm done for right now, Your Honor.
All right, so they should be wrapping up his testimony here. Let's take a listen.
I don't have any other questions for this witness at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Brooks, I will give you an opportunity to cross-examine, but that will be Monday morning since it is 4:41. Now 4:42. We've had a long week for the jurors and a couple of long nights, so I'm going to break now. I do need to read through an instruction.
May Detective Casey step down?
He may step down. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do not begin your deliberations and discussion of the case until all the evidence is presented and I have instructed you on the law. Do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else until your final deliberations in the jury room. This order is not limited to face-to-face conversations. It also extends to all forms of electronic communications.